again, so now we're talking about the incrementality, testing, modeling for advanced attribution. This slide is meant to show you what are some of the options in order to get that multiplier result. Very similar to what we generally talk about. So you have your audience split test, your geo-matched market test, pros and cons of each of these. We have your media mix modeling that you can do in addition to all of this to really get your full landscape. Things like connected TV, linear TV can, be very well captured in a media mix model. And then having these tests on top of it can really help firm up those results. But these would be the methods of testing or modeling your attributed performance. And then once you have that multiplier, right, we're now at that point where we get that multiplier. What do we do with the multiplier? First thing I've laid out here is a few typical multiplier results. Again, your brand can vary from this. This is not a hard and fast rule, but if you were looking for a benchmark, we could see somewhere in the range of 20% to a 40% multiplier. Again, depending on what platform you're buying from, your method of buying, which is why it's so important to understand, because that will have an impact on the ultimate multiplier you get. And sometimes, we'll run a test, we'll get a result back that maybe doesn't make sense based on what we thought the brand was buying. And then the brand goes back to their provider and is like, hey, what is this actually made of? And you realize, okay, there was actually tablet inventory in there. We didn't realize it. That has a different impact. So that's why it's really important to know what's underneath the hood of your OTT buys. And that's why your results can vary significantly. But as general rules of thumb, what are some ways, if we were looking to increase the incrementality of our CTV campaigns, what are some of the main call outs? Well, making sure you're not targeting existing customers and you're reaching as many new customers as possible is a tried and true way of increasing your incrementality. You definitely want to manage your frequency and CPM. And especially with something like a CTV, where it can be playing on multiple devices, wanting to make sure that your provider can do that cross-device mapping and manage frequency between devices. And then also potentially expanding into new content, new audience segments, new devices, anything new that could potentially align with your brand. Definitely has the opportunity to be more incremental. And then obviously, once you do that, those are areas that you're going to want to test again and make sure that your hypothesis was truly correct and that it did actually result in increased incrementality. And really, all of this is to say that it really can be, CTV can be a powerful driver of top line revenue. And in the past, right, like we said, our last touch metrics do not typically, serve this channel well. And so it's not something that gets a lot of attention, but brands these days are finding increased success in here, especially as we're able to measure it better.